I cut off my best friend for hitting on my husband, but he wants me to forgive her. My husband, Mitchell, 26 male, and I, 26 female, have this group of friends we hang out with. I knew them before I met my husband. It's a group of 6 excluding us, 5 males and 1 female. A few of them are siblings, but we're all close in age, 24 to 28. The members are Dalton, male 24, Jack, male 24, Lucas, male 29, Cole, male 26, Derek, male 28, and Ari, female 26. I first met Dalton and Jack 8 or so years ago when we worked together at a fast food place in a small town we all lived in. They invited me over to hang one night and the rest was history. We all became best friends. When I started dating Mitchell, I introduced him to the group and he fit right in. Throughout the years, we still hung out sometimes. It was months in between, but we still kept in touch through texts. Anyways, a few months ago, Derek invited us over for D&D, and we've been playing a few days a week every week since. Since Ari and I are the only 2 girls in the group, we like to hang out for a little together after our D&D sessions is over and gossip. Ari is a Wiccan, and one night, she offered to read my tarot cards. She started to give me a reading of my love life. At this point, I was already married to Mitchell. While she was reading, she started to choke up and get nervous. Ari kept saying the cards were showing her a sad ending and adultery and kept saying, "Are you sure you want to keep going?" Anyways, by the end, she had me fully convinced my husband was going to cheat on me and to divorce me. I brushed it off because we've always been good. It'll be 7 years together and he's amazing at communicating and sorting our issues out while being civil. Anyways, fast forward 2 weeks later and it's Jack's birthday. We go out bar hopping. We're all about 3 to 4 drinks and a few shots deep. Mitchell finishes his drink, so I go to the bar to order him and myself another. I noticed while I'm up ordering, Ori is talking and laughing with Mitchell, which doesn't bother me because we've all been so close for so long and I trust them both. It's taken me a while to get our drinks as the bar is packed. I just keep hearing Ori giggling. I'm getting excited like, let's get these drinks going because I want to know what's so funny. Finally, I get the drinks. I got Mitchell a vodka tonic with extra olives, his favorite. When I get to them, silence. They stop giggling. No big deal. I give Mitchell his drink and head to the bathroom because I had to pee. I come back. They're giggling again. Ari puts her hand on Mitchell's hand on the drink glass and uses her other hand to grab the stick full of olives out of Mitchell's drink, looks him in the eyes, and then sucks them off. I felt my face burn red hot. I'm really comfortable in our relationship, so it usually takes a lot for me to get jealous, but the liquor made me feel some type of way. I told Mitchell I wasn't feeling well and wanted to head out. So we went home and I brought up how our actions and him not stopping them made me uncomfortable, and he just brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal. The next day, I vented to my sister Jamie about it, and she said that it seems like the olive incident and the tarot card incident do not seem to be coincidental. Since she said that, I've been looking back on all the weird things I've overlooked the past few years. Ari always sitting next to him in Dungeons and Dragons, their characters always departing from the group and going off on side quests together, always going out to smoke when Mitchell does, etc. So here we are 6 months later, and I've completely stopped all communication to Ari and the guys. A few of them have reached out asking to hang out, but I lied and said we're just super busy. Mitchell and I were planning a party and he suggested we invite Ori. It put me off. I asked why. He replied, "Well, she's your best friend." I told him I haven't talked to her since the olive incident and she hasn't tried to reach out either. He said I'm in a hole for looking too far into this. Now he's guilt-tripping me for cutting off contact. Am I the a-hole? Will it be from the looks of it? No. I don't think you're the a-hole. But I also don't think that's like the main thing we should focus on here. From the way you presented your story, things don't look good. But I do have some follow-up questions like has Mitchell been acting weird lately or for the past 6 months or even longer? Sure, the bar thing, absolutely inappropriate, and the tarot card reading does make it seem sketchy. But apart from that, have you seen any behavioral changes in Mitchell? Like, is he being weirdly private or secretive about his phone? Is he going out on random errands? Because one thing could be that your friend is interested in him and the other one could be that they actually are fooling around. But with the things you've seen, I definitely can't fault you for being nervous about it. So not the end. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's move on to the community comments. A very brown girl nerd says, not the a-hole. I don't want to jump into the bandwagon of their having an affair, but the fact that your husband is calling you the a-hole for wanting to go no contact is telling. And they were giggling together. Something is off. Either they did or are sleeping together or they are on the verge of it. Maybe a flirty emotional affair, which is just as bad. Your gut is telling you something. Listen to it. Heck, contact a lawyer and ask for advice. Away Understanding 34 says, not the a-hole. She was flirting, and he wasn't shutting it down. I wonder if they have been chatting behind your back. He seemed way too eager to invite her. Did he mention the other guys too? Does he not miss them? I would make it clear to him that your feelings matter and you don't appreciate him brushing them off when their behavior clearly wasn't appropriate. You dropped her as a friend because she was hitting on your husband. However, you need to watch your husband too. He likes her and her attention. And OP responds, he hasn't mentioned not seeing any of them since I got contact. And Honey Bunches of Oats says, yeah. This might warrant going through his phone because her sucking the olives off with a stick while looking into his eyes is way too suggestive. She was probably hoping you would break up with him when she read your tarot cards. Additional information from Ops comments. Neither Mitchell nor Ari uses social media, so checking his phone won't show anything. Also, Ari does not have a phone. She is broke like broke, hasn't had a working phone in years. And my husband and Ari have never acted like this before. It caught me completely off guard. I also don't know how it slipped my mind, but Ari and Cole are F-buddies. He has feelings for her, but she doesn't want a relationship. Anyways, he saw her sucking the olives too and I saw the hurt in his eyes. Like, what the F, man? So D&D hasn't happened in 6 months. They would smoke together on the patio, but it's right outside the room we play in so they couldn't have sex there or anything, and we're together every day after work, so I know he's not having sex with her. We also have Live 360, so I can always see his location. I told the D&D group, we're really busy with our kids, and that's why we can't meet them. The community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that Mitchell and Ori are either already cheating or they're about to. So now let's move on to the first of 2 updates that OP has given us to this story. I spoke to Mitchell about Ori. Before I get to that, let me answer some questions. He was in the room while I was having my cards read. He just shook his head the whole time. He doesn't believe in tarot. Y'all saying, how does she not have a phone? Everyone has a phone. Dude, we're from a piss-poor Midwestern town. We are not privileged. I want to clarify that they've never been flirty before ever. Not even a little. Ari has never even looked twice at Mitchell and he doesn't seem to know she's there half the time. It's so out of the blue. Now for the update. He said he swears that he is absolutely not having an affair. He only mentioned Ari coming to the party because he noticed I hadn't been speaking to her for a while and that out of the whole group, her and I seemed the closest. He also apologized and said he did overreact about me cutting her off, but it was because he honestly didn't think it was that serious. He also mentioned that he didn't want to make a scene at the bar because it was packed, and he really didn't think it was that big of an issue even though it seemed awkward. I asked him how he'd feel if one of the guys did it to me, and he said it'd be weird for sure. I asked about them always buddying up for smoking and D&D. He said he doesn't really notice them having more one-on-one time than everyone else. He said that he wished he didn't dismiss my issues right away and gave what felt like a genuine apology. Mitchell also suggested that I speak to Ori and tell her how her behavior made me feel. So I messaged Derek and said I wanted to come over and hang out with Ori. So that's where I'm going in a few hours. Literally shorting my pants as I'm not one for confrontation, so I'm hoping it'll go over well. Okay. Well, then let's not waste any time and move on to the final update to see how that conversation played out. Last night, I went over to Ori's house to talk to her. When I got there, Ori was out, but Derek and the rest of the boys were home. Derek told me that Ori was out with their mom and would be back soon. I sat and had a beer with the boys. I apologized to them for being a crappy friend and for not seeing them for so long. Cole, Ari's F-buddy who has feelings for her but she doesn't reciprocate, asked me what was keeping me so busy. Honestly, I know he saw the aforementioned olive sucking and knew I had seen it. So I figured he wanted me to come clean, and I did. I told the guys everything that happened from the tarot reading to the olives and everything I started to think back on when having this revelation. Dalton started laughing at me. Derek put his face in his hands and said, "Oh my God." And Cole said, "What the F are you talking about?" Honestly, I was super confused by their mixed reactions and wanted to just leave. I said, "I know you saw her and Mitchell in the bar for Jack's birthday. Tell me that wasn't what I saw." And Cole said, "It wasn't like that. Ari isn't after Mitchell. I just got up and went to Ari's room to wait. I was hurt they just defended Ori and didn't try to hear me out." I scrolled through some responses on the post until I heard Ori get home about 20 minutes later. My stomach was in knots, and I wanted to cry realizing that Ori and Mitchell could have been fooling around behind my back this whole time. Ari was one of my best friends, and things were so solid with Mitchell and I. Ari came in the room and sat next to me on the bed. Ari almost immediately folded and said, "I know you're mad at me." The boys told me, "I swear I'm not into Mitchell. It's not like that." So I asked her to explain what the F the reading and the olives and everything else was about. She just started to cry. I went from sadness to anger. I yelled at her to answer me. This is when crap got crazy. She said, "I felt really weird this past year or so. I'm just not into men. When we're with the guys, it feels so natural. I don't know if I'm gay or something, but I realized with Cole that it's just not for me. She went on for a little longer about more personal things and even mentioned that she told the guys and was going to tell me. However, she thought one of the guys told me she was gay, and I was mad at her about that. And that's why I ghosted her for 6 months. But that still didn't explain why she was being seductive towards Mitchell and the tarot cards. She claimed that when she read my cards, she was reading straight from the instructions in the box, so there's that. And that she was not meaning to be sexy when she ate the olives. She was just drunk and wanted them. I sat in silence. I was so confused. How could I be so horribly wrong? Then Ori reached over and grabbed my hand. "I'd never do something like that to you," she said. I said, "I can't believe you'd think I'd be mad that you're gay." She said Cole was mostly hurt because Ori was into his sister. They'd been talking and that was brought to clarity into Ori's mind about not liking boys. So we have it, y'all. I'm so glad my husband isn't cheating on me, at least with Ori. Some of you almost had me convinced though, lol. Well, Opie, I guess we all had it super wrong. I'm going to assume that you and Ori are back on speaking terms and hanging out again. If not, hopefully, you do soon because she does sound like a friend that cares about you. So here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the and it's by user Scootendog. Am I the for not giving my boss my first class seat? Yesterday, my boss and I were flying home from a conference. We were on the same flight, but our original seats were not next to each other. I'm a frequent flyer on this airline and use their credit card, so I often get free upgrades to first class. I got upgraded on this flight and my boss did not. After the flight, when we were collecting our bags, she said she wanted to talk to me about my lack of respect for protocol. She thinks that because the company paid for my original ticket and she is more senior than me, I should have given her the first class seat. I think this is absolutely insane. While the company paid for my seat, it's my own personal credit card spending and frequent travel that earned me the upgraded seat. Is this some sort of corporate standard I'm not aware of? Am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. OP. Who does your boss think she is? Well, she's your boss, but just that. There's definitely no corporate standard regarding this, and if she starts giving you grief or she starts treating you differently because of this, I would definitely go to HR. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. JRM1102 says, "Not the a-hole. This was your upgrade, not a company upgrade. I'd keep an eye on this boss from here and document anything in case of retaliation." Gilded Lady says, "Not the a-hole. If you want to see it going forward, you can always email HR and ask, X happened while on this trip and manager Y advised that I should have done Z. Can you point me to where I can review the protocol so I know going forward?" It documents the incident without being accusatory and lets you be able to cite chapter and verse if there's a next time. And OP responds, "This is a really helpful suggestion. Thank you." She has retaliated against other employees who have raised concerns about her attitude with HR before, so this tag feels a little more comfortable to me than an outright complaint. Not creative at all 16 says, "Not the a-hole. The entitlement of your boss is astounding. As long as the company allows you to use your card for miles, not all do. You've done nothing wrong. You could have used those miles on whatever." She could have paid extra for the upgrade as well, but she chose not to. And OP responds, "Thank you. Yes, our company lets us use our miles or personal money to upgrade the economy tickets they purchase. So, yes, in theory, she could have paid with her own money to upgrade. I just happened to get an upgrade because of my status with the airline and their credit card." Ops comment. She knows I'm a frequent user of this airline, both personally and for work. Our work policy is that even though the company pays for the flights, all miles go to the employee. I have good status because I've combined work miles, personal miles, and personal spending on my airline loyalty credit card. I didn't pay for this upgrade. It's auto-requested and granted through the app because of loyalty status. Like literally, I get a notification on my phone saying, "You've been upgraded," and my ticket changes seats, but my company has no say over who does or doesn't get upgrades. Alright. Well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that he should be careful when going to HR because apparently, the boss likes to retaliate. So let's now move on to the update to see how this story ends. Thanks to the many of you kind Redditors who made me realize, 1. I was not the a-hole in this situation, and 2. I was in a very toxic work situation. I took the advice many of you gave me and clarified the policy with HR. The company, of course, did not have this policy. This situation was just the straw that broke the camel's back. My boss had been unreasonable before and this just helped me realize it. So I took your advice to get out of that job quickly, and I'm happy to say I'm starting a new job in 3 weeks. I know the person who will be my supervisor in my new job and she is a very kind, normal person. Pretty nervous to give my notice to the toxic boss on Monday, but oh well, if she's nasty, then my 2 weeks notice will just become an immediate resignation. We live in a one-party consent for recording state and plan to record the phone conversation to protect myself. Still, I work in a small field and my former boss knows my new boss, so I definitely can't be snarky on my way out. Just trying to do the bare minimum and make my exit gracefully. I will let everyone know how it goes on Monday. She's on vacation until then, so I'm attempting to do the classy thing and wait until she's back to resign. Thanks to all of you for giving me the push to move on. Final update. Hey there. So I resigned over the phone. She seemed surprised and asked a lot of questions about why, and that was that. I kept it very short because I knew any detail I gave would just be an argument. Told her I needed to try something new and wasn't sure the company was the right fit. Well, OP, good for you. You're out of that toxic situation and in your new job. So hopefully, you enjoy it.